First off, how did you even get in? Who like put the thought in your mind, real estate investing? Did you read it somewhere, or did someone come to you and just say, look, you need to be doing this?
Yeah. It was actually like I wanted to be like, oh, I just saw it on a billboard somewhere. But in a sense, it was kind of like this happenstance situation. So when I was in engineering, so it was my final year, and we were doing like a career fair. We were about to head. I had already locked in my job, but I still wanted to like go to the career fair and check out the companies. This Army recruiter came in, and you're like, oh, here we go again. He's going to try to get us to sign up, right? Dude doesn't talk about Army at all, not once. He walks in. He had just read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he goes up on the board, the whiteboard, in front of like 100 of us engineers, whatnot, and he's detailing out like the cash flow quadrant, right? Like where you want to be, assets and liabilities. And I'm sitting there in the back. I'm like looking around, and everyone's just bored. Like no one's really paying attention because they're all like, "I'm here for an engineering job. Why you're talking to me about real life and like investing and stuff? Like that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for a job." And I'm sitting looking around. I'm like, "Are you guys not paying attention? This is life changing. Like this is insane. Like when were we taught this? We just went through 4 years of HE double hockey sticks, insane mathematics and science, and nobody taught me how to invest. Like, come on. Like, this is the stuff that's going to make me money in life." And so that was kind of like the aha moment, right? I went and I ordered Rich Dad Poor Dad. And so I read it as I was transitioning to the Midwest for that first job out of college. And so, well, all my friends were, had just moved there. They're buying a new car because they just got their job, right? They just got a salary. They're buying a new car, maybe leasing like a really nice downtown apartment. Well, I turned around and I took my money, I stacked my capital for a couple months, and then I purchased a house hack, right? So I went in, and that was my first taste of investing, was doing a house hack where I was 5 minutes from downtown. So I was just as close to downtown as all of them in a great neighborhood. But I got creative, and I took a single family house and I converted the basement into a unit. And so I lived in the basement, right? I'm a new, like I put my pride on the side, and I lived in the basement because I knew this was what was going to set me up for the long term, right? And so that house hack alone, I stacked so much capital. I made so much money off one investment property, and that was kind of that nest egg capital stack that I used to leave engineering and feel comfortable that I'm not going to be eating ramen noodle and not making any of the bills. And so it was like this house hack in a sense is the reason why I'm a full-time real estate investor now. Like on the tail end of that was why I was able to do what I wanted to. And I'm 27, right? In 10, 15 years, it's going to be incredible the difference that one house hack has made in my life as far as, freedom of time, finances, financial freedom and all that stuff.
Exactly. My wife and I did a house hack on a 4-unit, and that alone was the reason why we were able to buy 2 more properties. So it's just, I highly suggest anyone getting started, house hack. Did you use so it sounded like you did some renovation to the property. Did you use like a FHA I think it's 203K, or how did you fund that?
Yeah, I did 5% down. So I didn't do an FHA loan, but there was actually, I'm sure they still have it. It's a first-time home buyer loan, and you can do as low as 5% down. It doesn't have the PMI on it, which was nice, because FHA, if you're going to put that low down, you usually have the PMI on it. And I didn't wrap the rehab into it at all. To be honest, I didn't even know you could at the time. I was just like, well, I'll upgrade it on my own dime. And so I purchased it for 5% down. So honestly, if you want the numbers, like I can give you the full background about this deal. Like, it was an awesome deal. So
let's do it.
It was 5% down. So I think 5% down and plus renovations, I think it was like all in maybe 30,000 or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, something along there. And then every month I was making roughly $1,000 in cash flow, because I was making $100 and then technically I'm living for free. So if you count my rent of $900, where I would be spending it elsewhere, so that's calculated in the cash flow for a house hack. So I'm making $1,000 a month, and then 2 years later I sell it for $76,000 profit. So in reality, off of $30,000, I made $100,000 in 24 months, and I got to live for free, and I got to learn about investing, learn how to be a landlord. Yeah.
Wow, and you lived there for the 2 years, so you didn't have to pay capital gains, right?
Nope.
Got you. Yeah.
The kicker is I will pay capital gains. I am. It was last year that I sold it. I am going to pay capital gains on the portion that was rented out, right? So half the house. So I'll have to pay half the capital gains because technically I did live there. So on your personal residence, you don't have to. But because I was renting it out, my CPA was like, let's not get over. You already made $100,000. Like, let's not get too crazy with this. So I will pay capital gains on half of that project. Yeah.
Got you. Okay. So how did you find it?
Zillow direct for sale by owner, to be honest. Yep. So it's so funny because now I'm thinking back and it was like all of the properties that I've purchased so far have been off market. And I didn't even realize until just now that like that was actually an off market deal as well. That was for sale by owner. And I had a realtor at the time. We were looking really hard. We couldn't find anything. And then I also, was proactive. And then I saw this deal. I saw it had a separate entrance to the basement. And I was like, we can work with this, right? I mean, it was a finished out. It had plumbing down there. It had a full bathroom. And it had, had the means of putting a kitchen. And so I kind of I shot it over the realtor. We worked together and we got it closed up. But it was a unique opportunity for sure.